Hey everyone, it's Kyle Kaplanis here, and welcome to All About the Hype podcast. I have some really cool guests on the show today. I have Nobile, Nick Oliveri, both founders of Impact Snacks, which is a delicious plant-based superfood snack featuring home compostable packaging and a carbon negative supply chain. They're making everyday snacking sustainable, so I'm really excited to have them on the show. Nick, Corey, welcome.
Thank you, Kyle. Thanks so much for having us.
Yeah,
really appreciate the time, man.
For sure. No, I appreciate your time, and you guys are doing such awesome things out there. I mean, I follow your LinkedIn channels, and you're always posting some incredible things about the environment and helping back. So I love to know, and I know the listeners and people who are going to be watching this later would love to know more about you, about your product. Like, how'd you get started? Tell us a little bit more about that.
I actually met Nick in 6th grade. We met in band class. We kind of bonded over our mutual hatred for the trumpet, which we gave up after one very, very long year of trying to avoid playing it. And yeah, throughout middle school and high school, there's a lot of different ventures that we built together. A lot of them failed. One of them did pretty well. That we had one exit that was in the pre-owned sneaker industry. And our going into our junior year of high school was when we started developing what was then called GeoProtein. It was a sustainable, clean label protein company, then evolved over time to become what is now Impact Snacks. That transition happened when we kind of realized, kind of as a brand and as brand builders, the negative impact that we had on the planet, as small as we were and are, and really just started researching different ways that we could do better. Yeah, now we have a fully carbon negative supply chain, like you said, compostable packaging, and we believe that we're the most sustainable snack in the world.
No, that's awesome. And I would love to know a little bit more too, like what is your product? What is it actually made of? What flavors can people, expect to see on shelves soon?
So good question, kind of a loaded question, but because, so much in the pipeline, but really right now we have these two wonderful superfood bars. That's what we refer to them as, because they're, you don't have to classify them as protein bars. They're not like fiber bars, superfood bars with whole body health in mind. Actually, our chief product officer is a neurosurgeon. So, our food scientist has been tasked with building out a lot of different brands and product too that have been successful in the category. So superfood bars, complete with kale and maca and lion's mane and balanced macronutrients that are all packaged in a home compostable wrapper, and you can expect to see them. So the flavors we have right now are iced caramel latte and our dark chocolate brownie flavor, both super, super good, super delectable. The iced caramel latte is a little sweeter, and then the dark chocolate brownie is awesome as well. Down the pipeline, lots of new flavors coming out, lots of new products as well.
And what's cool too is after doing a lot of research, I've looked at your Kickstarter campaign. I've researched a ton about you. What I love most, and I think what a lot of people find like to draw themselves to you, you're not just a product, you're more of a movement. You have a project, you have like these things that you want to change for the world. And I love that. And I want to know, what does that mean to you, and how does your brand is more than a product? What does that mean?
There's a lot of people that say, like, why snacks? And I think to address this question, I think I might want to start there. We had nutrition startups in high school, passion of ours. And when it came to, us really deciding that what we wanted to do was make sustainable supply chains and sustainable companies, like where do you start, right? So we had to look at all these different types of single-use products within consumer packaged goods as a whole, and really determine, what's the most frequently consumed? So you have a mattress that's consumed once every 4 to 6 years, a t-shirt maybe once a month if you love the brand. Well, the average American has over 4 snacks a day, and there's over 1 billion snacks every day that result in packaging ending up in a landfill or waterway. So the stars kind of aligned there. It made the most sense from business perspective, but it's also something we've been doing since we were 16. And it's all about making sustainability easy. Like, we sometimes say that, we don't want to be a paper straw, meaning like it's such a noble concept, and what a paper straw is trying to do is incredible, but it just lacks in functionality. So it wasn't adopted at scale. So we thought that if we could match traditional products in look, feel, function, while making them far more sustainable, then we'd have something that can be adopted at scale, and it should be seamless. Price parity, should be achieved. And a good example is our wrapper. Looks, feels, functions like plastic, but you can eat it. So
yeah.
Yeah.
No, because that's another thing that's always on my mind. So my household, I have 4 kids actually, so we buy a lot of snacks, right? And what really makes me go crazy is sometimes you buy a package and it could be something kind of small, and then you open up that, and then there's individual little packages within the package, and I just find that to be crazy because I always think the same thing. What a freaking waste that's just going out there. All this plastic is just being, sent out all around, and sometimes you see people at parks, and then the wrapper flies away, and then that's just set up all in our environment. And I really appreciate that you took the time to really think about what can make you guys unique, and you thought about the product itself, but you thought the wrapper could be a huge differentiator for your brand. And it really is, because it's one of my favorite things. I know we'll dive in a little bit to TikTok, but one of my favorite videos, what caught my attention, was actually when Nick ate the wrapper of your product. And I mean, to me, that is like, it blew me away, because so many companies, they speak about a product and what they're really doing, but not a lot of people actually show proof about what that. And you were like, hey, our product can be edible because it's made from vegetables. And boom, he ate it. And I mean, that to me was like, yo, like I have to talk to these guys. This is like top of the line, like new thing. I love it.
Just curious, Kyle, and thank you for that. I really appreciate it. We knew it's been edible for a while. That's kind of, it was almost a requisite when we were choosing material based on our purpose and based on what we wanted. Very, very curious. How'd you discover that video, and how'd you discover us? And just for the purpose of like our own consumer discovery, very curious. Like, was it LinkedIn or was it TikTok itself?
I found you guys right on my For You page on TikTok. So never found you guys on LinkedIn. So basically what really drives me is when I see something really compelling, which that like made me stop in my tracks. I had to research more. I was like, what the heck? Like, I've never seen anybody do that. So I saw that on my For You page. I immediately needed to contact you guys. So my thing is I always go to LinkedIn first. I found you guys there, connected with you both, and wanted to get you on my show. But it was it was all TikTok focused on my For You page.
Thanks a lot. We love this material. We think it's incredibly important. And after this, I'll just DM you a picture of my compost right now. It's compared with an eggshell, which is also in there. Mm-hmm. And the wrapper is actually composting faster than the eggshell. 6 days from putting it in, it's 90% composted and decomposed as organic matter. It's unbelievable so cool. How versatile it can be. So it's like, and the reason I say that is because it's actually exceeded our own expectations of how quickly it can transform. We're super excited, and just the way we look at it is we're really just building the new here. And we think so many other initiatives and projects and products can follow us too. And that's what's important to us.
Yeah, I love that you're not making this just about you. You're making this an impact, literally like your name, impact for the world, and making people think about their products. Because like, I mean, even Corey made a comment underneath on your Instagram page about that. He said, hey, I'd like to see these other brands try to eat their wrapper. And I thought that was really cool, like calling them out and saying, hey, you too could probably make some packaging like this too, but I'd like to see the executives eat your wrapper now. And they wouldn't be able to.
Like, something that's a pretty crazy thing to think about is that a bunch of 20-year-olds that have a budget that's less than like a VP at Pepsi's salary can do this. So why can't these enormous companies with billions on their balance sheet? And we get it. Like, it's not easy, but it's also a pretty massive problem that we've kind of worked ourselves into. So we have to assume that it's going to be challenging to get ourselves out of it. And as cliche as it sounds, nothing good was ever easy, at least where innovation is concerned. So
absolutely. Sure. I hear you on that. And I'd love to kind of shift gears a little bit here and just talk about like, what even got you started on, hey, let's take our product and let's put it on TikTok. How'd that even come about?
For context, we have pretty much all student-run team. We have people that have a ton of experience where it matters, but a lot of people, especially where social and content creation is concerned, they're all our age. From day one, we thought, we knew we had to be on TikTok, right? I think everyone knows that they benefit from being prominent on the platform, but we wanted to do it in a way that didn't feel salesy. It is easier said than done. So we wanted to figure out like a really genuine way to do that. So we thought, well, okay, the most genuine way to do that would be to hire a content creator, hire one of those so-called influencers that most of the time are just paid to promote products here and there. Mm-hmm. And one thing we noticed is that so many content creators are like brilliant. And because to be able to consistently make really, really good content, like that's really hard to do. many of them as well, they want to be a part of the brands they're selling. They don't want to just get paid a few $100s here, a few $1,000s there. They want to take ownership in something. So we thought that if we could bring one on and just allow full creative freedom, as long as the value alignment was there, we could make some really good content. And that's what we did. His name's Derek Sullivan. He runs the direction for our TikTok. And I don't think that we would have been able to enter TikTok the way we did without someone like that. So I think that approach was a requisite to us, being on the platform.
Definitely paid off, because if I looked right, I went through your TikTok account and I scrolled to the bottom, and I believe your first post was literally just a month ago. I think it was August 26th that you posted your first video. So, I mean, you've already amassed a following of 50K followers literally in under a month. That is pretty awesome. And that's all organic too. I mean, people who are listening, that is not something like people do sometimes on Instagram where they buy followers. That's not what they did. These are all organic, natural followers that came to them. So it seems like that strategy you did was a huge success.
I think what's interesting too is that we noticed that there's a lot of people that are following the TikTok that really love what we're doing. Sort of like you said, people hadn't seen somone eat a wrapper before. So they've been advocating for change for so long. It's oh wow, a better option's finally out there. And I think it grabbed their attention. And then we were thinking okay, well, it's really hard to kind of convert some people from TikTok to Kickstarter. Just some problems that we have with Kickstarter. There's too many steps involved with it's not as simple as just buying a product online, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some people think it's a scam. Some people think it's actually investing. So we were okay, well, how do we still tap into this audience and allow them to access our product? So I think it was Nick and Matt Hurd, who is our brand manager, who had the idea of just dropping our Venmo username in the comments on one of those early posts. And within seconds, we had our first Venmo, and then we had dozens of Venmos come in. I'd never thought that would be possible. It was just I'm donating my friend when we go to, Sweet Green or something.
Right.
So it was definitely funny and definitely interesting to see all the different ways we can interact with them. So.
Yeah. So that's been an awesome, addition to your success. Have you been surprised actually with the support you've been receiving from the TikTok audience?
I can't say we've been super surprised with the reception to our mission and kind of the purpose really propelling us forward. We've gone to market and we've, this is the point of this Kickstarter campaign and then getting onto TikTok was proving this concept, proving that people want it. There's a thirst, there's a consumer demand for what we're offering and the purpose behind what we're doing. It hasn't been surprising in that, people are interested in either this material or these ingredients in a snack, but it has been surprising just how passionate and really humbling and actually extremely exciting too, how passionate people are about this, how badly this needs to be served and how widely this message still needs to go. It's been crazy. So great reception, but I'm just so surprised at how far this needs to go and how passionate these people are. Another surprising aspect was how far this message and our purpose actually transcends so many other demographics. What we've seen is the people that are willing to shout the loudest for us and to share us and to even go as far as to support our product and our mission, hugely Gen Z led for sure, but it largely transcends most ages, genders, races, and everything across that. It's about people who believe in the mission. That's who we're attracting. That's who we're bringing on board. That's who's supporting. It's just a very rampant base where we couldn't be happier with what's been going on.
For sure. I love that you kind of, you mentioned that and a lot of your support is Gen Z based and focused. But the cool thing is a lot of people overlook them. They think, oh gosh, they're just this young demographic. They don't know what's going on. So they're nobody's really targeting them or focusing on them, or they think they're not ready yet. They are. They have I have two Gen Z daughters, one's soon to be 15, one's 19. They make a huge impact in today's world and what they're choosing to buy, purchase, consume, look for, and they advocate hugely on companies they believe in. So I don't know why so many people really discredit them when they're making huge changes, and they do. I noticed them in the comment section tons. They could be, you click on their profile and they look like they could be 10 years old, yet they believe in it. And they're like, oh, I'm going to make this my mission. I'm sharing this everywhere. And then they really do. They're on their stories. They're talking about your product. And I just think that's so cool. And that's so powerful that Gen Z really is, a huge demographic that we should not be overlooking.
For sure. And just like hard numbers, right? Like Gen Z is the largest demographic in the US. There's over 90 million of us. So,
Yeah.
And Gen Z and millennials combined command over $1 trillion in purchasing power. That's nuts. And with that, Gen Z already dictates a lot of what brands are doing nowadays, and they're just starting to enter the workforce.
Yes.
Meaning, right, you know, like, and I think that's what some people might be missing, or some brands might be missing, is that like over the next 5-10 years, like it's Gen Z is going to be the bulk of the US economy, which is 70% consumer backed already. So you're definitely right. There's a lot of power there. And because the generation's digitally native, you're right in that, like when there's something that they feel needs to be shared, they do it. They do it quickly too. So
and they're very passionate about it. They want to see, this is what I was talking about actually, Josette Pimenta, on my last podcast episode. We talked about how the story really means a difference. Like that's what we love about TikTok, is you were able to share, you know, your story. And, you know, one thing I have to also mention is what I really appreciate as well is, yes, you're working with like an influencer who helps guide you and that, but we also see the faces of your company too. So that helps bring in that story, that full story of who you are. And that's why people want to support you and want to see you grow. And like people will be advocates for life, like just cheering you on, which I find is so cool.
I couldn't agree more, Kyle. In my opinion, and what we've seen, I think the team would agree, I think Corey would agree, it's about action. It's about action for us. You know, and I don't mean to be exclusive at all when I say Gen Z, but it's pretty, there's a lot of us, and we want action. We're done with it. We're frankly done with it. We're done with the status quo. We're tired of inaction. We're tired of stasis in the corporate realm. We're tired of companies and organizations not being transparent. Not going to call anyone out here, but it's about action, and we're seeing that. The comments, you know, when say we dropped that comment, just, hey, Venmo account, here it is. You can support us if you want. You'll get a box delivered when we email you for an address. And so many, where can I get this? How can I share? How can I help? It's about the action. So I think it's the coolest thing to me, that we just want to actualize the change in the real world. And because of that passion, because of that desire to act, that's what's actually going to move things forward. So super cool.
So are you and Corey then part of Gen Z?
Yeah,
we're
both born in 2000.
20 years old.
That's what I mean. I feel like I don't know why, but I feel like a lot of, you know, older demographics, maybe they don't have grandkids or their kids are younger, or they're just not thinking in their mindset that Gen Z is actually enough. Like, look at you both right now. People might be looking at this and be like, oh gosh, yeah, we definitely need to start thinking about Gen Z. And it's like, yeah, you guys are a little bit late. I feel like I found the companies that have been thinking about this for a while are really early adopters, and they're making huge changes and growth, where those who are saying that's not our demographic to be talking to yet are really going to miss the mark. Like, this generation is huge. It's probably my favorite, to be fair. I love this generation. You know, I was one of those guys actually who, in the beginning of this whole thing and me changing and going into, you know, talent management with my kids, I didn't really understand them until I got to know them and talk to them and hear them out. Yes, sometimes their videos are a little bit crazy, right? Like, you go on the For You page and you're just like, oh gosh, like these kids are crazy. But they're so smart when you actually have a conversation with them. And I love that. So I really appreciate you guys, you know, like making a good name for Gen Z and getting out there. So it's super cool. What things can we see? What are the next things we can see from your TikTok channel?
Yeah, so we're currently navigating a little issue where we think that we might be shadow banned. So we're just trying to figure out, you know, if we need to wait a little bit before posting some content. Just basically our ratio of like likes to views was there, but we weren't hitting the For You page at all. And so we're not worried about that. It's always temporary. And we always listen to our head of TikTok there. We have a bunch of just a library of content we're building, basically highlighting, you know, so everyone on our team is super passionate about, you know, solving this climate crisis, right? But everyone has a different way of doing it. So some people like Steven, like talking about the fast fashion industry. And some people, Matt, like talking about the plastic crisis. So we just kind of want to, like you were saying earlier, show the faces behind the brand, but while we're doing so, talking about why each person cares about what the company's doing. That's going to dictate our content.
That you're not making it just about your one product. You're talking about the overall, what everyone really believes in. Because I saw, was it a female in your team that did the upcycling video?
Kate?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But like saying like, hey, like don't get rid of furniture, you know, you can turn it into something cool and reuse it. So it's cool because, you know, that video, she didn't it wasn't just like salesy, hey, buy our product. It was like something that everybody can be doing, and they're going to look at you as impact snacks. Yes, you make snacks, but you're impacting the world. So people are going to look at that, which is so cool. That's what's going to make you really stand out, I feel like, for the future.
Thanks, Kyle. Yeah, that's literally what it's all about. It's authenticity, I think, is what we're trying to capture. That's what you're getting at.
Mm-hmm.
This product doesn't define us. The product's just a manifestation of what we believe in, really.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to use these materials. We're going to use these. We're not going to use these ingredients. We're going to use these. But that's just one facet of who we are as people, the team, the brand. It's just one facet. So we're going to continue to just be ourselves. And I think that's the biggest thing you can expect is more content, talking about what we believe in, what we're passionate about, maybe some funny stuff coming up. Who knows? Overall, we're just going to continue the same thing. And
people listening, if you go check out Impact Snacks, you'll get to learn a lot more about them, who they are, what makes them, what makes them go and how they want to change things. So I love that. What's some advice? So like some new startup companies who are maybe looking to use TikTok, what are something that what you've learned so far? What can you give them if they're looking to start it for the first time?
When you approach creators, really position it so they're working with you, not for you. I think oftentimes creators are kind of just treated like a Google ad or a Facebook ad. Where it's like, you're just going to highlight this product and your audience is just going to get it. And that's that, right? But that won't happen. And it's rarely the case that actually like results in like a positive ROI. So I think taking the extra time to build a relationship and find people that have, value alignment and really give them ownership and the attention that they're bringing to your page, which is endlessly valuable if you get the right group of awesome people.
I think a lot of people have in this mindset, like you said, like they're treating them like a Google ad or a Facebook ad. They just see numbers like, oh, this person has 10 million. I want to work with them because they have 10 million. But what does that really mean? Like, and do they actually like your product? Do they know it? I'd rather me personally work with somebody who has 300,000 followers and will be a diehard Impact Snack fan for life. Like they support it. They know everything about you versus somebody with 10 million just sees a paycheck and is like, yeah, make a video. I love what you said about that. Finding those creators, really treating them like part of the team, not just a number. That makes a huge difference, I think, for both parties.
Like you said earlier, Kyle, Gen Z, I think we're just more in tune. We've been bombarded with ads. We're first digitally native generation. We've been bombarded with ads for since we were born. So we know when someone's selling to us, and we're a little bit jaded in that way. So it's like, just be yourself. A startup that's approaching TikTok, approach it like you would talk to someone in real life, and you just be yourself, live out your purpose. And if you don't, it's gonna show through for sure. So
exactly. Organic authenticity, be real, be human. That is huge. And that's one of my favorite things. I mean, I'm a millennial, but I'm over them. Like I'm sick of them. That's why I love TikTok too, is because I can see there are ads on there and people are just doing them in such a fun way. You actually want to watch, and then you want to learn more versus like waiting on like a YouTube video. You literally have your mouse on that 5-second skip mark. Like it's there. And my kids, like my 7-year-old literally knows exactly where to skip that video. And she just sighs every single time ad comes up like, so it's so true. Gen Z is over it, people. Be organic, be fun, be real, be human.
Just one thing to add to that, because I thought that was pretty funny, like knowing exactly when to skip. There was this study done, and I forget who did it, so I won't give any like hard data, but it was like Gen Z knows more than any other demographic when they're being marketed to, and it's not because like they're smarter or anything. It's just because we've had technology our entire lives and social media our entire lives. So think about how many ads were presented nonstop. All day. They know exactly when they're being marketed to. That means that they'll not only like look at it and be disgusted and then swipe away, but they'll actually tune it out. So they'll recognize that it's an ad and it's not even going to enter their headspace. So it might as well not have existed. So I think that's definitely something to note.
Yeah, for sure. And think of all those marketing dollars just being wasted. Such a waste. Yeah, they're not listening. So I think that's so cool. I'm really grateful that we ended on something so positive and where people can really take away something and really think about their future of advertising and talking. And I think startup companies can find a lot of value in that. So I really appreciate that. And so final thoughts, like when is your product being released and where can they find it or how can they support you now?
Yeah, so Sunday, September 27th, we are hard launching on our website, which will be impactsnacks.co. And yeah, we're going to be, pushing out new products, making new cool, sustainable snacks. making a bunch of original content. Yeah, we're just getting started. So.
That's awesome. Well, I appreciate it, Corey. Nick, thank you so much for your time. I've loved learning a lot more about your story and what you believe in. And I believe you really will make an impact. That was a great name choice there. And I can't wait to see you guys grow and what you're going to change for the world. I'm excited.
Thanks, Kyle.
You're
Really
welcome.
appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Kyle.
Thank
It's
you.
awesome.